with Ron Celentano of Celentano Energy Services. He's been a mainstay in Philadelphia solar for 20 years. We're also in the Onion Flats. It's a condo development in Fishtown. And we're going to talk about the system a little bit, and a little bit about Ron's experience, and just in solar in general. So what are we looking at here as a system? How big is it?
Well, this system is actually 11 units and separate. Although we have some large arrays, they're actually small individual units, and there's 11 of them, and they average about 2.3 kW to about 3 kW. So they different sizes. So each of these go into these inverter systems. So it's DC power going into AC, of course. And this is actually a single unit, this box. So it contains the DC disconnect switch going into the inverter, making it AC, coming out, running this solar meter, and coming out to the AC side, and then actually interconnecting into the service, the electric service. So these are required by National Electric Code to shut off the DC and AC side of that system.
Do you, so every one of these inverters goes to one specific condo?
Exactly.
And they're getting a discount from their power.
Yeah.
Like how exactly does that work?
Yeah, so that's what we have in place in Pennsylvania called net metering. A lot of states, of course, have this. So you can offset the at the retail rate your production. So if you in fact were generating exactly what you were consuming at the site, you essentially would have a zero bill, except for your fixed meter charge, which is like $7 or something.
Right.
So, and when you generate excess, let's say maybe you generate more than you need for by noon, then you would actually be back feeding into the grid, but you can pull that back down and you still get full retail value for that.
Right, so the idea is to even almost use you're using the grid as a battery, right? You're using a battery that you're charging. That's the way I always understood.
That's sort of true. The big difference is if the grid goes down, this system, it could be sunny out, and this system would be able to do anything for you. It needs the grid for it to operate. That's what's a really important component.
And if the grid went down, you'd have to get a different type that had specific batteries for it, right?
Yeah, and there's a way to retrofit this system with a battery backup system. It'd be a little pricey, but there's a way to do it, though it's better off to design it from the get-go as a battery backup system.
Okay. Can we talk a little bit about the specific components? This is the inverter, right? This is the thing that makes it from DC to AC.
Correct, right? And it's very efficient. This inverter may be about 92-94% efficient. They've gotten much better, 96, 98. In fact, a very new inverter I heard about coming out is 99% efficient. So there's some loss going from DC to AC, and that's the efficiency I'm talking about.
And in any of the electricity, you're going to have losses. There's always a minute loss.
Yeah.
So we're trying to, in order to get the most we can out of the system, try and minimize those losses, right?
Yeah, exactly. And and the solar panels themselves have some level of efficiency. These solar modules, as we call them, photovoltaic modules, are probably, I checked, they might be 13% efficient,
right,
as compared to what you more typically get now are 15, 16, as high as 21% efficient. So that means of the amount of radiation striking the module, you can be converting that into electricity.
Right, and you call them a module.
Yeah,
you have to call them a module.
Module, I mean, it's often
You're a purist, sir.
They often are termed as panels as well, and I'll trip into that myself. So, panels, modules, AKA.
Because the panels it's an electrical term. That's why you always say modules.
Yeah.
And it's coming in from, this is one unit, right?
Right.
So, and it's coming in here.
Right.
Coming in.
In fact, here you can see the conduit coming in. This is going out to a particular part of the array.
Right.
Coming into this switch, then going into, as you can see, into the inverter, out from the inverter into this solar meter, and then into the AC disconnect. Then this goes down into where the electric panel would be, or at least with the electric service that comes in from, in this case, Pico.
Right.
So this is showing gross solar production. This is not the electric meter. It's actually showing the amount of solar that's being generated, regardless of whether it goes right at the site or you're generating excess out onto the grid. It doesn't matter. It's the gross amount that's being produced.
And it's going, and even though it's not a very sunny day, the meter's moving right now. That's only saying what solar is producing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And there's a separate meter for your usage that goes the other way.
Well, that's the Pico. That's the Pico part, you know.
Right.
So we have a situation where if you're generating exactly what you needed in the house or in the condo, the picometer wouldn't be moving at all because you're perfectly matching everything that you need on site. You're not pulling grid power down, nor is this being exported. It's a perfect match. That would be like the comparison or the.
Well, they try new houses. We're trying to make a perfect. You're trying to make the houses so energy efficient that you get the right amount of solar and it's a perfect match, and not because a lot of systems in the last Jersey blew up. People were putting huge systems in their house, and they're not very energy efficient. We're trying to fix that in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, it's always good to match up roughly the size of a system relative to your annual production, because again, how net metering works here is when you generate a surplus at the end of the month, that surplus carries over into the next month, and can offset your next bill, your monthly bill. But you want to make sure you don't have an annual surplus, because then you don't get as much, you don't get the full retail value anymore.
You're not making money like the grid, like the power companies are making money. It's different. Well, you need to use it. Yeah. Well, the other thing that leads to is in July and August, when you're producing a lot of solar and maybe you don't use your air conditioning, you can then use that production that you've had and use it in December when you're at the heat pump.
Yeah, exactly. So you're offsetting that a little bit.